Welcome back to Lumify. In the last video, we showed how to create contracts and invoices. In this video, we'll show how to customize those contracts and invoices to your company's templates. To get started, you want to download those sample templates that we used last time. To do that, you can go into Lumify and under the Document Templates menu, click that, and you'll see the default templates for invoices and for contracts. If you click on that file name, it'll go ahead and download that for you. So let's go ahead and download both of those, both the invoice and contracts. And from there, you can open up those templates in either Word or Pages or your favorite text editor, as long as that text editor is able to export the document as a .docx file, basically the modern Word file. Let's start with the invoice. All right, so now we have our invoice template open up in Word. You'll see there's a bunch of comments here. These comments are intended to help you sort of understand what all of these codes are. Now, these are document fields. They pull data in from your database or from your different events and your invoices, and they allow Lumify to replace those fields with information that's pertinent to your clients. Let's take invoice number, for example. This is a simple field. It pulls in the invoice number. The way you create fields is you put them into square brackets. There's a listing of all of the available fields on the Lumify knowledge base. So if you're interested in what fields are available to you, go ahead and check that out, and we'll have that linked below. You'll also notice that some fields have a period or a dot in between them. And what that is it's showing you that there's nested information underneath the original field. So the bill from contains multiple sub-elements, including name and address. If you wanted to, you could split out the bill from and have a city or a state or a zip. In this case, we're using the full formatted address to simplify things. And the same thing is true here for the bill to option. Under bill to, you have address underscore full. For dates, you can see that there's a FRM equals option. The FRM means that you're formatting that date. So you're taking the updated date of that invoice and you're formatting it in month, date, year format. There's also another option here for on format. So when you're formatting this, we want to put it into the system time zone. In other words, you want to put this into the time zone that your Lumify instance is based out of. If you wanted to, you could also use user time zone, which will be in the user that's viewing the document's time zone. That's your choice there. There's also another format option here for money. You can format the total amount, for example, as money. So the next section down here is the billable items. So you'll see a billable underscore items dot label. That is the label of the billable item. You'll also see billable items cost. And then under here, you'll also see billable items description. Billable items are in an array, which means that there could be multiple billable items. In that case, we want to put those into a row block. So this section here that's highlighted is a row within a table. And what this designation for block equals TBS row means is that each time you have another billable item, it'll generate a new row and put that new billable item in a separate row. This next section here for the full row shows a no data option. So if there's a billable item array that's empty or has no data, that's what will show up here. You'll see a helpful message that says there's no billable items yet. Moving down, you'll see options for subtotal, discount amount. Similar to above, you're formatting into a money option. And then this magnet equals is if there's no information here, it'll delete the entire row. Discount amount, same thing. If there's no information, delete the whole row. That's what the magnet does. For payments, this is similar to the billable items. It's an array of payments. You could choose to just delete the entire row if you don't want to show payments on invoices, but you want to keep that. You'll want to notice that you're formatting it as money, and then you're also creating a block. A block equals TBS row, and that'll create a new row for every single payment that you're receiving. Underneath each payment, you'll see an option for sub 1. And what we're doing there is we're asking the template to create sub fields for any refunds that might be offered. So if you've given someone a refund, that'll show up here under payments underscore sub 1 and the amount of the refund. And it'll also show the date if you want to show that. Moving down, the total amount paid is right here. So the way that we're formatting this is if the paid amount is greater than or equal to 0, then we'll show the paid amount. If that's not the case, then it'll remove the total paid, and instead it'll show total amount or remaining balance amount, depending on what the case is. If you have not received a payment yet, it'll show total amount. If you've received some payments, it'll show a remaining balance amount. Now you can fully customize this using the conditional logic that you see in these fields. There's also a help document on our knowledge base that shows you how to use that. Finally, we have some simple fields here for the deposit percentage. And then if there is no deposit percentage, then this entire row will be deleted using that magnet option. And in this case, we're doing magnet TBSP, which means that this paragraph will be deleted if there's no data. Now you might be wondering to yourself, what about this logo? Yes, you can change that logo. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can go ahead and insert a photo. Go into your picture from file options, and then we can just choose the logo that we want. So in this case, let's use our DJ company logo and insert that. All right, so now it's inserted there. Let's format that nicely. Let's actually delete the Lumify logo as well. So now we have the DJ company logo in there. Cool. If we want to move that around, sometimes it's helpful to make this sit above or in front of the text. And you can actually move it more freely. So let's move it right there. That looks nice. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Okay. All right, so let's save that template. Actually, let's give it a more helpful name here. Cool. All right, now let's upload that. Let's go back to Lumify, go to invoices, and under new document template, let's go ahead and upload the DJ company invoice template. Upload. All right, so now that we have that uploaded, let's go ahead and create our first new invoice with that template. Let's go into documents, invoices. Let's create a new invoice. Cool, let's invoice it to someone first. Do Will Smith. Let's give it an event, do the example event. Let's also pull in some event details as well. Cool. All right, so the way that we update the template is under invoice appearance, invoice template. You'll see there's a new option here for DJ company invoice template, and that's the one that we just created. Let's go ahead and choose that. All right, and that might take a second to pull that in, but once it does, you'll see that your new template is there with your logo. All right. So that's the basics of creating invoice templates. You can do the same thing for your contracts. The same thing applies. You just download the sample template. You change the fields to whatever you want. You can change the text to whatever you want. And that's pretty much it. Now, you can also set a template to be a default. So by default, obviously, the default invoice template is what you're going to get by default. So if you wanted to make your DJ company invoice template the default, you can click the three little dots here and say set as default template. So that any time that you create a new invoice, let's go ahead and do that now, you'll see that it'll pull in your DJ company template by default. And that's a helpful little setting that you can choose. All right, so that's it for templates. Like I said, the fields are available. All of the fields for templates are available on our knowledge base for Lumify. See you in the next one.